trust me, you don't want to see the defensive side of those minutes. The Suns have a big issue, quite literally a big issue. If you go to the team leaders for the box plus minus, Jusuf Nurkic is number 1. And I really want to drive home the point of how crucially reliant this team is on Jusuf Nurkic. Because I heard some wild takes over on one of my favorite podcasts, Numbers on the Board, and for some godforsaken reason, they were debating Jusuf Nurkic, and none of them covered any of the points I would have liked to cover, and so here I go. Of the games where Jusuf Nurkic rebounded over 15% of the team's rebounds, the Suns are 21-9. That's a 700 win rate. And when he doesn't grab 15% of the team's rebounds, the team is 8-8. 500. So, what does this prove? He needs to be dominant on the glass for this team to even have a chance. Out of the 16 games where he was under 15% of the team's rebounds, 14 of those games Jusuf Nurkic was in foul trouble for. So that means he has to stay out of foul trouble and dominant on the boards for the team to win. The Suns are an extremely confusing team. And sadly, I'm obliged to tell you I'm a fan of this fan base. And I've went into this season with a lot of hope, and I have been sitting and waiting on this video idea because I wanted to see if the Suns could fix it themselves. And they've shown flashes, but sadly they haven't fixed anything. But before I uncover the big issue with the Suns, make sure to subscribe because I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel from the ground up, okay? We're at 250 right now, and my next goal is 300 subs. So, if you feel like helping out, that would be much appreciated. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. To explain the big issue with the Suns, I have created a graphic for you. The Suns will obtain a lead. Jusuf Nurkic will get into foul trouble, and he gets benched for Drew Eubanks. Now the Suns can't close possessions, and their transition defense becomes lackluster. The offense begins to get rushed, and progressively more difficult shots get taken on the offensive side while not being able to stop the ball on the defensive side. Now KD is taking impossible shots and getting hacked on his jump shot, but the refs don't call it, and he starts complaining, leading to less foul calls. Bad offense. Then Jusuf Nurkic checks back in. The Suns start to close possessions. Jusuf Nurkic begins to control the pace, set some screens, get some easy shots for the stars. The lead begins to bloom. Jusuf Nurkic picks up another foul. And repeat. So that's pretty much the problem with the Suns right there. They're not good when their starters aren't playing. So you get to see stretches where this team will look amazing and like a championship roster, and then they look like a Chinese paper tiger the very next second. And this cycle all culminates into the Suns' infamous fourth quarters, where Jusuf Nurkic plays his lowest minutes of the night. And the Suns wonder why they suck in the fourth. They're missing their point guard, Jusuf Nurkic, for half of the quarter. Of course, they're gonna suck. He literally controls the pace of the game for them. Which is sad to say because the Suns have had so many bright spots for them. Grayson Allen, he has been the steal of the Damian Lillard trade. And honestly, I think the Suns walked out on top from that one. The only losers, maybe the Blazers, but we'll see how that plays out in a couple years. Grayson Allen is great. He can get hot in seconds and kick in bunches of threes. And I've seen him break the 3-point record for the Suns a couple of times, but, he'll get to 8 and then he'll get cold. Josh Okogie, he's been a great energy boost for the Suns. He's picking him up full court, but God, don't let him shoot corner threes. He's not going to make them, all right? But don't forget to box him out, though, because he's crashing every time on the glass. And especially Bull has secretly been having a really good season ever since Shaq said that bullshit. Frank Vogel decided to start putting Bull into the game, and I love it when he gets to play because Katie's been mentoring him well. His decision making has improved, and the defense needs to be more consistent, but, he's tall. Doing his job. But sadly, he gets gassed extremely fast, and I don't ever expect him to see the court over 15 minutes a night. But he makes the crowd go crazy every time he checks into the game, and I love that. The Suns need that. This team has also seen some success with Thaddeus Young, but Frank Vogel just doesn't want to give him any minutes because he doesn't want to mess up the white boy rotation. And would you just look at this sequence for him? I mean, he had 6 offensive rebounds in like 2 minutes just by being in the right spot. And God, I am begging you, let Thaddeus Young, please let Thaddeus Young take Drew Eubanks minutes in the playoffs. The Suns will see so much better results. Amen. Anyways, Royce O'Neal has been an absolute perfect fit for them. I mean, they traded away 3 of their worst end of the rotation guys for Royce O'Neal, and his defense has been on point. He's been the point of attack defender that they needed. He can guard some wings. He can guard some guards. But he's going to play 30 minutes a night, and he's going to give you a good 30 minutes. And his wing shooting, it's definitely still there. Really, you can swap him out for any one of the 3 or any one of the 4 other than Nurkic. I don't want to see him play in the 5. He's 6'4". I don't want to see him play in the 5. If you switch him out for any of the 4, I mean, I'm not even mad at that. This guy averages like 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 points, you know? What was I saying? The connection to KD is real, all right? These two will have at least 1 to 2 assists to each other where they just set each other up for a quick, easy basket, because KD gets set up by Royce O'Neal a lot, you know? He gets that little pin down, and Royce, he ain't ever rolling. He's gonna fade out to the other 3. KD's either gonna get an isolation shot or Royce O'Neal's gonna get a wide open 3. And so, you know, they just benefit off each other for that reason. I mean, in that Celtics game, he was pretty much a black hole. You couldn't pass him the ball and expect the ball to go inside the basket, and then KD stopped that. Anyways, a black hole off of the bench has been Eric Gordon. His defense has been painfully obvious. I mean, this man has a giant red target on the top of his head on the defensive side of the floor. He cannot stay in front of you. He is going to most likely foul you. And I mean, on offense, he might make you a couple threes, and he's going to drive to the basket. But he's only there to space out the floor. He's going to have a good game every 5 games or so. But so rarely do I see this man move. I mean, here. You know what? I'm going to reenact a standard Eric Gordon possession for you, okay? All right. This is like the 3-point line, right? This is the corner. Alright, now let's get back to the stars. KD has been amazing, as expected. His paint drives are pretty much non-existent now, but I don't care. He's 35, I don't expect him to be driving to the paint like it's 2014. I mean, his late game decision making has been, iffy at best, but yeah, I mean, the entire team sucks in the 4th quarter, so you take what you can get. Devin Booker, he's been reasonably healthy this year, and he's been great, actually, averaging like 28 and 7 assists or something. And people hate the idea of Devin Booker being a point guard. I mean, I've seen Suns fans say he gets tunnel vision. He can't create for others. He can only make his own shot. Guys, if we're going to call Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a good creator and a good distributor, then why can't Devin Booker be a good one, alright? I'm pretty sure he's averaging more assists and only has half a turnover more in turnovers averages. I mean, guys, come on, let's be real here. If Devin Booker had a better whisk... Anyway, enough with the skim dick riding out here. Bradley Beal, man. Yeah, he's been... Well, he's been here, I think he's finally adjusted being in Phoenix, and he's finally starting to figure out his spot with the team. When it's Book and Beal, it's been good. When it's Beal and KD, it's been good. When it's all 3, it's... Yeah, I don't know. When it's all 3, they're lost on the floor. Sometimes they have stretches where they get, good looks, and they're clicking and they're going, and getting good stops, out in transition, offense looking great. And then they'll have stretches where they're just too afraid to step on each other's toes, to cut, to even go screen for each other. They're just standing there waiting for each other to make an isolation move. And that's some Brooklyn tendencies that I don't want to see. I don't want to see that. Yeah, to avoid this, Frank Vogel has come up with a couple actions that I am going to point out because I really like these ones. And sometimes the Suns offense, it just... I wonder where these plays go in the fourth quarter. Look, here, I like this standard reverse Spain pick and roll. Nurkic sets a screen for Booker, and then he goes and sets one for Durant, and he will roll to the rim, and that creates room for a KD midi. Then the Suns have this double screen for Devin Booker with Kevin Durant on the wing. Bradley Beal cuts to the paint, and Kevin Durant comes to set another screen, and he slips it. The Pacers miscommunicate the switch, and Book has 3 different viable options. He can either get it to Bradley Beal, kick it out to KD at the top of the key, or take it himself. And those would all be wide open shots. So he decides to shoot it. Here, Nurkic and Kevin Durant, they love to run this corner action. And because he's so big, when he sets this screen, it creates so much room for KD's favorite shot. And when the offense gets stagnant, Yusuf Nurkic will usually grab the ball and just come down to the corner and run this with them. And I swear that shot is at least 75 to 80% on those field goal attempts. Then they got this play here. Bradley Beal is the ball handler, and Nurkic is setting a pin down for Devin Booker to curl off of. And the great screen forces Miles Turner to step out, and Devin Booker pump fakes so he can attack right. And this forces Pascal Siakam to help off of Kevin Durant in the corner. And, that's a wide open shot for KD. It's beautiful. You can also switch Nurkic and Beal in that action and force the defense to become even more stretched out by bringing the big out to the 3-point line to guard Nurkic. And then, there's a good old classic Spain pick and roll. And Beal's explosiveness is a nice fresh factor in the equation for Phoenix, compared to Chris Paul snaking in the pick and roll. These are the actions I really like because it involves all 3 of the big 3. And usually Nurkic. And the defense, if given enough times in these situations, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. Because, you can't guard any of these players in isolation because that would result in a basket. And if you help off of one of these players, that would also result in a basket. Now I'm going to play the sequence that sparked the idea for this video. And it goes all the way back to October. I think it was Halloween night or something.
The small lineup has been very effective for San Antonio, holding their own in the zone defensively too. Durant with a deflection. Disrupting the foul. Southern Center. 3:40 remaining. Nurkic feeling it right now. He's got it. The big man steps out and drills his second 3. Durant picks it off the rim. Durant pushes. Okogie on the wing. Jones running the floor. Durant's got it. Nurkic 3. No good. Scoring option. Marcel, step back 3. Oh! In the offseason with a new contract. Durant turns a corner. Some contact.
After replay review, Okogie for Phoenix is the last to touch the ball.
First ball, 6 to shoot. Wemby's got to go. Taking on Nurkic, he spins, rises up, passes it. Into double figures. Ends of Durant. Taking on Johnson, little fadeaway, no good. Approaching the 1-minute mark. So you're going to have to run a body at Durant. Keldon Johnson all alone. Durant goes right by him in a two-handed jam. 990 games, amazing. Wembanyama catch and shoot, he's got it. Gordon almost lost it. Suns in disarray here. 5 to shoot in the corner. Watanabe, no. Now the play's disrupted. Pop's upset. Vassell's going to have to go on his own. 3-pointer, no good. Wembanyama. It's a 1-point game. 6.8 to go. Might want to call timeout to advance it. Oh, Johnson takes it from him. Johnson hangs. Yes!
was so stupid. I was up in the nosebleeds, but man, dude, I was pissed. I didn't even play music on the car ride home. That's an hour-long car ride, not one song. But here's my message to Frank Vogel and the rest of the Suns, alright? It's time to start taking this shit seriously. I can't be staring at these stagnant offensive possessions where Eric Gordon is playing clutch time minutes and it's just Kevin Durant isolating with Bradley Beal hot and Nurkic on the bench, alright? And Drew Eubanks, my guy, did anyone teach you how to rebound with two hands? You do that. Yeah, this man's just quite literally, single-handedly swacking the ball to the other team for easy transition points. Only for it all to work out once or twice for another possession. Yeah, that's all I got. Do you think the Suns can fix this before the postseason? Honestly, I think if you just cut Eric Gordon from the rotation and swap Drew Eubanks and Thaddeus Young, you would see a lot of these problems disappear. And I think I mean that wholeheartedly. I think I overstayed my time. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below. Yeah, just do the regular stuff. You know what to do. Thanks for watching.